Hello, I'm Nicki, and I'm here to give you some special tips today on what to do if you get tired with your voice. If your voice feels a little bit tired after a lot of singing, or perhaps you're recovering from illness like a cold or flu and you want to get your voice back to top form really quickly. Or perhaps you've got a lot of rehearsals to do one week and you're thinking, am I going to make it to the end? How can I get my stamina really, really good to last through this big week of singing? There's lots you can do. You'd be surprised how much we can do to help ourselves with our voices, and not only to stop them getting tired in the first place, but also to help them recover quickly if they do get tired. So I'm going to look at both of those things. I'm going to look first of all at prevention. How do we stop ourselves from struggling in the first place? How do we keep our voice really, really fresh? And then I'm going to give you some top tips at the end of this video on how to recover your voice, how to help yourself get it back on form quickly if it has got tired or if you have been unwell and you're trying to get back to singing again. So, the first and most important thing when it comes to keeping a voice fresh and healthy is actually, surprisingly perhaps for some of you, it's your alignment and how you stand, how your body is balanced. You would be amazed at the great difference this really, really does make. We get fed up, don't we, of parents saying, oh, don't slouch, or, think about how you're going to stand. But it's crucial as a singer, absolutely crucial. Why? Well, we've got two big things to consider here. One is that your larynx, where your voice starts, where the sound begins, is mobile. It goes up and down and it tilts forwards and backwards, and it's just suspended here. If your alignment is out, if you are standing to one side or if you're slumping, it affects the position. It's like taking a violin and trying to play it in that angle. You're very quickly going to have muscular problems over here and probably elsewhere. So it's about keeping our instrument straight to play. We've also got to consider that the voice works, as you know, completely on breath. Breath is vital. Without the breath working well, we can't make the sounds we want to make. And so the whole breathing apparatus needs to be free to move and work correctly. So your alignment is the key. So we're going to start with alignment, and I'm going to give you some special exercises that target particular muscles in the larynx area. These are gold dust, these exercises, so I recommend you really try them out. Just a quick recap, you all know how to stand well, I'm sure. Let's have a look at it though. Let's just remind ourselves. Just rock backwards and forwards gently. Just have a little sway, perhaps in bare feet, so you can really feel the floor under your feet. Feel that forward and back motion, and eventually come to rest right in the middle of your feet. And just move them from side to side. Feel that your ankles are nice and loose. Hopefully you can go straight up onto tiptoes without having to come forward to go up. It's a good diagnostic thing, that, because if you have to come forward, chances are you're already leaning back. The other thing we've got to look at is our knees. If your knees are locked, and just try it now if you like, if your knees lock, what happens to your pelvis? It shoots forward. It's really important that your pelvis and that your knees and your ankles are all very, very mobile and flexible. Not bent, but not locked. Okay, so just check on all of that before you start. You should at all times when singing be able to do little figures of 8 with your pelvis. If for some reason you can't, chances are something somewhere is locking, and we really don't want that. Good singing, healthy singing, singing with stamina, it's all about movement. There must be flexibility in the body at all times. So we've worked out that we're standing really well, and then we just want to try and make sure that we're standing as tall as we can. This part of our neck here, if it squashes, if our chin goes forward, it squashes up a bit. We're thinking very long at the back of the neck. Long, tall spine. Sometimes people, when they think of a long neck, they go that way. That's the opposite of what we want. We really want the chin nice and level, long at the back of the neck. Think of the crown of the head directing constantly upwards. And then the last thing that we really just want to make sure is really in a nice, easy, loose state is the whole shoulder neck area. And that's where my fantastic exercises are going to come in and help you. These exercises, I have to credit the people who've made them. Ed Blake and Dane Chalfin, these are the two guys who do all of the voice rehab work for lots of big superstars in the West End and pop singers and classical singers alike. They really understand the musculature and they put voices back together again. So we might as well steal those exercises to stop ourselves from getting into trouble in the first place. So the first thing they would say is make sure your shoulders are loose. You can do nice shoulder clocks, lift up, drop, maybe forwards and up and back and down, and just really loosen them off. Okay? That's great. Don't forget to keep breathing while you're doing these exercises. It's terribly easy just to kind of hold your breath. Keep the breathing going, keep the jaw and the tongue nice and loose. Okay, so first thing, you're going to loosen off those shoulders. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to stretch out some of the muscles in here. First one is to drop your head to the left-hand side and let it hang. Now, we don't want to be pushing this stretch with the head. We're just going to use the weight of the head to let it hang. Loosen off that jaw. Loosen the tongue and breathe. If you want to increase this stretch a little bit, you can take the opposite hand, take that middle finger and just press it down a little bit. And just breathe into that stretch. If you lift the chin a little bit, maybe drop it forwards a bit, you might be able to tell where the stretch is good for you. So hold that for a while. Breathe, enjoy, and then come up. And then drop to the other side and do the same thing. Let the weight of the head hang and then press down with the middle finger on the other side. Loose jaw, breathe. And maybe bring your awareness to the difference on both sides. Tiredness in a voice is very often a result of an asymmetry, of something being out of kilter. And you'll notice it straight away. One side is always going to feel slightly different from the other because we lead with one side of our body. I'm right-handed. I do a lot with this side. I play tennis on this side. This side's always got a heavier load in life. So it doesn't feel completely the same. But if you feel a really severe difference there, it needs some attention. After you've done that one, here's one for us post-lockdown, really important. We've all spent a lot of time becoming slightly smaller and crouched over computers and phones. Well, this one is called the text neck stretch. And you drop your chin down and let it hang for a moment. Just let it hang. And then pull your ears back over your shoulders, making as many chins as you can. And you'll feel that really good muscle work going on, sort of the opposite of this. Okay? Try that again. Drop your chin, pull your ears back. Check your knees are loose, wiggle that pelvis, and breathe. You can do that one several times. Every day when you get up, I would recommend it. And there's one more of these, which is that you drop that chin again and you let the weight hang. And this time, track that chin over to the left-hand side to your shoulder and let your head hang there. And breathe and just notice, again, just bring your awareness to where you feel that stretch. Lovely. You can spend a little longer than I'm spending on these stretches, maybe do a couple of repetitions of them, but I don't want to spend too long on them because I've got so many other good things to show you. So once down again and across to the right, let that head hang. So those exercises are really good for just loosening off muscles that may have become tight. We might have got tense and constricted, and those help us to get into a better place. The next ones, I need to take my specs off for this, just working the jaw and the tongue, making sure that they are ready for action and not tight. It's really, really easy, isn't it, to get a bit tight in the jaw with stress. And I know that for some people this has been an anxious and stressful time. So some of you may have found sleeping at night more difficult. Others, it's been a dream. I mean, it's really been a varied experience for different people. But actually, that stress is quite likely to be being held here and, of course, in the shoulders and neck. So what you're going to do is you're going to find this muscle that runs from the top here straight down in front of the ear, that big chewing muscle. And you're going to use this part of your thumb just to really give it a little massage, maybe 5 of these stroking downwards. Think of the long back of the neck for this. It's very easy to kind of do that, but we don't want to do that. We want to be long at the back of the neck, nice and free. Wriggle those ankles and the pelvis while you do this. And just let the jaw hang, let the tongue be soft, and come down straight down. 1, 2, 3. Keep going. Do 5 of those. Make sure you're not pushing the jaw down, just loose, let it hang. Sometimes you get a little headache referring across here when you do that exercise, but don't worry about it. It's just a tension-related thing, okay? And loosening off that muscle will help in the end. Give yourself a good scrunch of the face. Really get it alive. And then the tongue, just maybe wash around the outside of your teeth 5 times with your tongue, just to get it going. So a few of those. That set your body up really, really well for some singing. It doesn't take long to do that, but it makes a huge difference. And the joy of those exercises is that you can quite easily do those in a rehearsal without drawing attention to yourself, and just give yourself a little reset. Keep bringing your attention back to that body in your rehearsal, please. It is so easy to start to slump and sit badly. If you watch a professional choir, they will slump and sit badly all the time when they're not singing. But you watch them, the minute they start to sing, they come forward. If they're sitting, they come forward on the front of the chair and sit up to sing. And if they're standing, you see that alignment really kind of happening. So don't be fooled if you see pictures of a choir sort of all sitting around like that. Chances are they're not singing at that moment. Really important. Anyway, that was absolutely great. So hopefully that's been some help for alignment. The next thing we have to consider is that breathing, keeping that voice really, really healthy and free. You will all have teachers who show you all about how to breathe well, and I'm not going to go into detail about that now. That's not for me to do in this video, but I'm going to give you some exercises that are related to our breath and how it moves through, which might help you if you are feeling tired at the end of a rehearsal or you're worried about getting tired. These exercises are called semi-occluded vocal tract exercises, but you don't really need to have such a long word for them. You might hear your teacher calling them SOVT. Basically, what is that? That is really simply a kind of long-winded term for anything that puts a point of resistance here for the breath. And I'll tell you in a minute why it's so effective, but trust me and do these with me. So anything that is like v, v, r, r, j, all of these are putting a point of resistance instead of having our breath coming straight out into atmospheric pressure. V, j, v. Okay? And they're really, really effective. I'm sure nearly all of you warm up by doing some sirens on SOVT type exercises. So we're going to start with a nice little siren in the middle of our voice. We're going to use a lip trill, which is you have to be careful you're not spitting out loads of air for this. You only need a small amount. just enough to keep the trill going will be enough. And you check that alignment and off we go. If you find that really hard, you could do. That's a really good one. Some people find both of those really difficult, so practice them. But in the meantime, you could do like V for van. These are really fantastic. You immediately feel your voice starting to feel clearer, more clear tone. And there's a reason for that. I won't go into it now, but there is a very good scientific reason why when you do these exercises, your voice comes out better afterwards, just instantly. The king of all of these exercises is the puffy cheeks one. Can you try now to do loose lips and puffing out your cheeks? If you find that easy, then you can add a bit of voice. All the way down to the bottom, all the way to the top. You can go really high if you're a high voice. And all the way down. Really fantastic exercises, these. You can even combine two of them, the rolled R and the puffy cheeks. Sounds a bit like a turtle dove. Why is this so fantastic for keeping your voice fresh? Well, when you're doing that puffy cheeks exercise, especially with the rolled R, these muscles, which can get a bit constricted, they switch off to a large extent. And the other thing that happens is we create wonderful kind of back pressures with the air here, and we encourage our vocal folds to come together really healthily without pressing. There have been some incredible studies done on this, which show that it not only is just gets your vocal folds working well together, vibrating nicely together, but it also takes down inflammation. So if you're inflamed after a cold or coughing a lot, it's really safe to do this, really safe. And here's a wonderful one. You take a straw and a glass of water and you blow into the water. And then we add voice. Make sure it's not coming through your nose. Just check by pinching your nose. I filled this glass up quite high and I have to be careful not to get lots of splashback. If you're blowing too hard, you will get splashed back by the water. You don't need to blow too hard, okay? It's nice and easy. And that's another one that's been shown to have fantastic anti-inflammatory effect. So these are wonderful, wonderful exercises to stop you from getting tired or to refresh your voice if it has got a little bit tired. They're also really safe to do. So sometimes people think, oh no, I'm really tired, I can't sing because I'll get tireder. These are really healthy things to do that won't make you more tired. They will just set you up better and they're very safe. Especially the puffy cheeks and the one with the straw. Really, really useful. So I hope you find those very helpful and I hope that you really feel the difference, the before and after. You could try them with some spoken text as well. Maybe a little bit of a poem, something like Sea Fever, for example. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky. You could do that on th or v or voo. And then try speaking it again. You'll notice that it's clearer and stronger, but it's no more effort. So I hope you found this little video helpful. Things to do when you're tired or your voice feels tired and you're worried about it. Don't forget the golden rule. Stay hydrated, get plenty of sleep, don't drink too much coffee and certainly don't drink lots of alcohol, and do not smoke. That would be very bad for your voice. Thank you for listening and see you soon.